I have a confession. I fired my life coach, MS. Not a mountaintop moment, just me, a mirror, and a clear sentence. You're fired. It wasn't denial, it was acceptance with teeth. Honor, rest, support, accommodations, without letting diagnosis shrink my joy. The symptoms stayed. Legs protest, hands tremor, fatigue lingers. But fear? No longer top billing. It clicked on a Tuesday. Kitchen light, fridge hum, a simple mission, milk and bread, then the wave hit. I noticed the micromanager in my head. I pulled up the chair, took back the agenda. Enough. I listen to my body, and I lead my life. Here's the thesis. MS is a minor character now. I won't wait for a perfect body to live a real life. Before that Tuesday, MS quietly promoted itself inside my life. No coup, just whispers that sounded like common sense. Beat. A persuasive voice I mistook for intuition, always pitching safety, always so reasonable. Headed out with friends? Are you sure you have the energy? Sunny day walk? What if your legs give out? It didn't bark, it negotiated. Let's just stay home, for your own good. It managed the details, practical shoes over the fun ones, soft pants over celebration, calendars padded with preemptive rest, RSVP hovering on, maybe. It wanted a controlled environment, and my life was becoming its project. It built a wall of what-ifs, brick by brick, until rooms felt smaller. Sensible, right? Not lazy, responsible. Not hiding, conserving energy. The story sounded caring while it quietly shrank my days. That was the tell. I named the micromanager, and with the name came a little power. Hand to the door handle. Breath. My choice. My world got safer, quieter, and painfully small. Rooms shrank, days narrowed. I could feel the edges closing in. Just in case became policy. Just in case I flare. Just in case I'm tired. Sensible, until it fenced off my life. Fear turned micromanager, running a spreadsheet in my head. Energy versus joy, denying the fun line, postponing everything. I waited for a perfect body day that never arrived. Rain checks I wrote to myself, while I was making the weather. So I stopped waiting. I can listen to my body and still lead my life. Keys. Door. Next chapter. After the kitchen epiphany, saying yes didn't look cinematic. No bungee cords, no plane tickets. Just ordinary life with a different script. It was smaller, quieter, and honestly a little awkward. I decided to go anyway, right where I was. Shoes on, keys in my palm, legs a little heavy, brain a little loud. I went to the store, not to be brave, but to buy milk and practice showing up. Slow steps to the sidewalk, a pause on a bench, then onward. Nothing heroic, just movement. Saying yes meant participating on my terms. I brought my cane to the gallery so I could wander slowly. I asked for a seat on the bus instead of pretending I was fine. I wore sunglasses indoors when the lights were too much. When help showed up, I said, "Thanks," and meant it. I started small. A 5-minute walk instead of a marathon. 1 coffee instead of a 3-hour lunch. Trying a new recipe even if it left dishes, and a nap in its wake. Not fearless, just willing, doing it scared and doing it anyway. And something shifted. Fear didn't vanish, but it moved to the back seat. It could chatter back there. I was steering. I don't wait for a perfect body anymore. I open the door, take a breath, and go anyway. Trust returned in small reps, one ordinary choice at a time. In the kitchen light, I asked my body, "What do you need right now?" Then I tried it. Shoes if yes, slippers if no. Coffee with the window open, a slower route to the corner. Not conquest, conversation. Each yes or no was a vote for self-trust, and I started to believe myself again. It wasn't linear. Some days I said yes, and my body answered with a clear no. Bed day. Frustration. A little grief. Then a reframe. That's data, not failure. I adjusted the plan, not the worth of my life. The dance continued. Lead, follow, rest, still mine to choreograph. The biggest surprise was people. Conditional yeses brought them back in. Yes, I'd love to. Might leave early. Yes. And can we find a comfy chair? A text, a smile, a plan that fits. Invitations reopened like windows. Connection drifted in warm and easy. I'm learning to lead my life. Listen, decide, go anyway when it's right. Keys in my palm, door cracked to daylight, the next small step waiting. That's enough. Next, your turn. I've shared my messy, honest story. Now it's your turn. No tests, no gold stars. Just a minute with yourself. In the quiet of your kitchen or living room, notice what's been running the show. This isn't judgment. It's curious, gentle attention. Name one small, ordinary thing your MS, pain, anxiety, or fear is talking you out of. A slow walk to the coffee shop. Showing up to book club even if you mostly listen. Planting 2 flowers, not the whole garden. Give it a name so you can see it. Now, listen for the micromanager voice and simply notice it. That awareness is power returning. If it helps, share your one small thing below or jot it in a note. No pressure. Choose one tiny step toward it this week. I'm cheering for you. Finding your people changes everything. Courage isn't loud, it's often a quiet, steady yes. The right room can make hard days feel lighter. If a space helps you feel seen, stay close. Join the group, leave a note, show up for the conversation that feeds your spirit, not your fear. Small gestures count, a comment, a DM, a wave in chat. Participation builds belonging. Make it active. Share one small thing your illness or anxiety talks you out of. Putting it into words loosens its grip, and you'll hear, I get it. Me too. If this resonated, connect here, like, subscribe, and comment. Not for algorithms, but for community. Breath. We'll figure it out together, one small stubborn act of showing up. Here we are, at the end of the story. I promised you a big reveal, and I intend to deliver. You might have been waiting for me to share the one secret trick, the final piece of the puzzle that makes it all okay. The big reveal is this. The answer was never about finding a cure for my MS. The answer was about finding a cure for the way I was letting it shrink my life. The day I said no to MS was not a magic day where my symptoms vanished and my body was made new. It was a day of profound, simple clarification. My life got bigger the moment I stopped waiting for my body to get better. I began to show up in the world as I was, not as I wished I was. I showed up tired, shaky, in pain, but I showed up. And life was still there, waiting for me. My friends were there. Joy was there. Purpose was there. I had been hiding from it, convinced I wasn't well enough to deserve it. That was the lie. That was the myth I had to bust. The day I fired MS as my life coach was the day I reclaimed my authority. My diagnosis became part of the story, not the entire plot. It could be a footnote, a chapter, a recurring theme, but not the title. The title of my story is mine to write. The power isn't in eliminating the struggle. It's in choosing to live a full, vibrant life right in the middle of it. The day I said no gave me permission to be fully human, messy, imperfect, whole. One thing to take away: your life is waiting for you. It's waiting in the grocery aisle, in the coffee shop, in the phone call you're meaning to make. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need a perfect body. Say yes, even a little, and your world will begin to expand. And that absolutely counts.